Good evening, everyone. We are back in Middle Earth, and we are in Ostlantir, and we're going to continue our adventuring on the Corsairs of Umbar new update. Hope everyone had a wonderful Saturday afternoon, and we are going to pick up here where I left off in Ostlantir with this quest from Cynodel.
We will do our best to repair and rebuild what we can.
An overdue apology. Excuse me, have you seen my younger brother Orthor? He has brown hair, wears red. No, I swear I've searched for him everywhere. Oh, I hope he's not upset with me. Just earlier I scolded him for playing so many pranks on everyone, especially poor old Milder. I'll keep looking around Ostlantir, but could you please make sure he isn't at the beacon? If he isn't there, or here, I don't know what I'll do. Alright, let's ride to the beacon. There he is.
Leave me be!
I'm not upset. The boy's puffy red eyes tell you otherwise. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. And I didn't mean to make Cynodel worry. I was just writing a letter to Mr. Milder. I wanted to say sorry, but he might think I'm trying to bother him, or that I'm trying to play more pranks. Please, could you go back and give my letter to him? It's very important. Alright. Let's get this situated.
I never thought to see the days of peace come again.
This letter is completely illegible. The man cracks a slight smile. Thank you for delivering this very important message. I suppose I'll have to go up to the beacon myself to ask Orthor what he wrote. Worry not, I'll make sure to let Cynodel know of his whereabouts.
Days of peace have come at last to Gondor.
The search for Dolvir. The war may be over, but the remnants of enemy forces remain in Gondor. One of my scouts, Dolvir, noticed Corsair stragglers retreating southwest to what used to be Abadek's Watch. He went ahead to scout the camp further, but has not returned or sent any word of his discoveries there. You have done much for Gondor, Miloa. If anyone could find him, it would be you. May my anxieties be laid to rest. Okay, that's quite a distance to traverse, so gonna hop on my war steed. Before I do that, let's just set this as my milestone. There we go. injured dolvir catches your attention?
We must strive to defend our newly gained peace.
Worry not, my injuries are minor. I have escaped worse places with more grievous wounds. The Corsairs captured me, but could not agree on my fate. Some wanted me dead, though a few did not seem thrilled by the prospect. Even their efforts to search for me have been half-hearted. None have ventured past the walls of their camp. I can understand their caution. The chances of them finding kindness outside those walls would be slim. Before I report back to Gillenor, I have some ideas on how to weaken the Corsairs' hold here. I'm afraid I cannot approach the camp in my physical state, but your help would be enough.
We must not let our vigilance lapse.
Breaking this cycle. Some of the Corsairs who flocked to Abadek's watch seek safety rather than a cause to continue fighting. If you find any Corsairs who seem hesitant to draw their weapons, please convince them to find me. I promise to help them find peace in Gondor or a safe voyage home to Umbar. Okay.
We must not let our vigilance lapse.
I'm gonna do the second quest at the same time because it's the same zone. Destroying the barricades. While Abadek's watch will never return to its former strength, we cannot allow the Corsairs to continue like this. Destroy the barricades they have constructed, and those crumbling ruin walls will seem a little less sturdy than they once appeared. I gotta go in here. Let's make sure I got my... Scholar note, sorry. Gotta stop and pick that up. You have discovered Abadek's watch. I don't remember the zone. First time. Before the war. Maybe I skipped this always. Well, you got one or two choices. You can either listen to me and stay, or you can take the combat option. Need 2 more barricades. Nope, not this way. Oh, that's a dead end. Oh, there are the barricades up ahead.
Days of peace have come at last to Gondor. We must not let our vigilance lapse.
Okay, I am gonna map back to Oslothir, which is why I took that milestone. There was one more person to talk to at the beacon, but let's just ride through this town real quick, make sure there are no other rings. Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's go to the beacon.
I never thought to see the days of peace come again.
Peace of mind. Hail, friend. Judging by your hurried steps, you seem to have much on your mind. Why not stay a while and take in the view? The side of Edhelland to the north is always calming. A look to the north. Okay. This spot offers a good view.
The shadow of war is now behind us, and Gondor rejoices.
Too many of my waking hours have been spent watching Edeland with dread in my heart. We would have been no match for the Corsairs there. Perhaps that is cowardly of me to admit, but it is the truth. And yet, when I look out towards Edhelen now, I feel hope. Did you hear that the elves are turning the harbor into a garden? May it remain a safe haven forevermore. But Edhelen is not the only place I'd like to point out. Behold, Dol Amroth to the west. Quite a city. The waters of the bay glitter now clear of the Corsairs' dark ships.
Gondor has a king again.
Whenever I look at Dol Amroth, a part of me still believes that I will see Corsair ships mooring the bay. Despair often overtook me during the war, and I wondered how the city would fall. Our troubles are not over, and indeed, some scars may never heal, but we are still here, are we not? We are still here. May there be happier days ahead for you, Miloa, and should you find yourself plagued by dark thoughts, you are always welcome to return here. 1 second, guys. My puppy's situated. Alright, I think we've wrapped all the quests up. We can go to Dol Amroth now. We have visited pretty much everywhere. Just a little bit of a shortcut. You have discovered Dol Amroth. The Swan-eyed Rosran waves you to him.
Let us go to speak with Prince Eomer here, my friend.
I will bring us by the quickest way. After all, I spent many years in service to the city. Okay, so now we are gonna be carrying on with chapter 2.12 in the Palace of the Swan.
It is good to see cheer restored to the Palace of the Swan. When last I was here, the mood was grim.
Many of the prince's court and the greatest part of his swan knights went with Imrahil to Minas Tirith for the waging of the war, but his daughter Lothariel managed the rule of the city while he was away. That Dol Amroth still stands as a testament to her ability and tells me she has learned much from her father.
I introduce to the court King Elisar and Queen Arwen and their loyal companions.
I bid you welcome to Dol Amroth and the Palace of the Swan. My daughter and her friends were just leaving.
Is this a poor time? I hope we bring no interruption.
Oh, none at all, my king. Dorthaneth was a help to me when I ruled Dol Amroth while my father was away. She was a dear friend, and remains so. I cherish her visits, but this one was just ending. I pray you will stay a little longer, leader of the Alvarine. I had hoped to speak with you as well.
My folk expect my return. I should not keep them waiting.
The Queen asks you to stay. Surely you can heed her wish?
If you would come here, please.
Yes, my lady. What can I do to serve? Just one moment, the queen says to you seriously, retrieving a finely crafted bowl and a glass jar from the recesses of her cloak. She removes the corked stopper from the mouth of the jar and slowly pours the crystal clear water contained with it into the bowl, spilling not a drop. Will you set this down on the floor just there? She asks you. Okay.
I do not understand what this means, my queen.
This is water from the river Gilrine, which flows out of the White Mountains. You know this water, Dorthaneth, for you drowsed long beside it and came to sorrow. What does she mean?
This cruelty is unbecoming of you, Queen of Gondor.
I seek not to be cruel. But there are two hearts to be mended here, not just one. Will you not do your part, Nimrodel?
I have not answered to that name in many years.
Maybe so, but there is one here who remembers it.
It's a roaming star. That's why she had the water. This hall is so cold, but the queen wants me to speak, so I shall speak. Long ago, and for always, I dwelt within the and beside the river Gilrain, and my music was the song of sunlight on the water, and of wind in the leaves. But it was a lonely song, for my sisters had gone away, and I did not think I would see them again. Animals came to the stream to drink, and birds to bathe, but except for such creatures, I was alone, and felt the pain of it, until one day an elf maid tarried by the river as she journeyed southward from a distant land. She was more beautiful and radiant than anyone I had ever seen. I sang to her, and she delighted in my song, for it reminded her of home. She danced beside my stream, and I was so gladdened by her presence that the music I made held more enchantment than ever it had before. She slept on the bank of Gilrain, comfortable and safe, and I was no longer alone. I dreamt that once she awoke, she would fashion a home for herself in my wood, and I would teach her my song, and she would call me sister. She would have children of her own, elf children of merry eyes and high voices, and I would show them the flower fields and the secret springs, and they would fashion brightly colored petal crowns to wear, and their mother would delight in them. It was a happy dream, but it lasted too long, and when she at last awoke, many seasons had passed. The elf ship that waited in distant harbor for her to arrive could wait no longer. With selfish hands I stole that life from her, and I grieve every day at the sorrow I caused her. I did not intend such sadness to befall, and I would take it back if I could, and yet it is my doing, and the guilt weighs heavily upon my every moment.
I do not expect you to forgive me, Nimrodel. But the Queen wanted me to speak to you of my sorrow. I think that is not cruelty.
I know what cruelty is, maiden of the Gilrain. The world is cruel, and has always been. Can you know my story, and say it is not so? Amroth was a king among elves, but to me he was more. He was my love, and the brightest star of my night sky. We must depart, Nimrodel, he said to me, for the dwarves have awoken terrible evil, and if we stay it will endanger our folk too. And I believed his words. I believe them still, for I know what befell in the centuries since, as he cannot. Amroth went ahead to make ready the ship. I traveled with a small company to join him at that distant harbor, but the passage of the mountains was hard. The high crags filled me with unease, the rocky way troubled my heart. When at last we descended to the lowlands, I danced in the woods and became separated from my folk. So grateful was I to leave the mountains behind. The sound of the river Gilrain was beautiful, and its music had magic in it, and whatever else befell, I can still remember how it was, and know that I loved it. I slept in peace for too long, and by the time I awoke a fell wind had come from the north, and driven my love's ship from the shore, never to return. It is said Amroth leapt from the ship, and braved the waves that he might wait for me, but never again was he seen by elf or by man, though I walked the shore for uncounted days and innumerable nights. I dwelled in sorrow from that day forth, never far from the bay where I lost my love, and I have worn this mourning veil for so long, I cannot remember the sight of the sun without it. I have held my grief close, but so too has it held me. Until now I believed the weight of those heavy chains was only mine to carry. It did not know you sorrowed too, maiden of the Gilrain. It was not for you to feel this way. Do not burden yourself with the grief that is mine. I spoke of cruelty? The greatest cruelty is that this sadness must snare more than one heart, and for so many years.
I did not know. There is much sadness in the world, maiden of the Gilrain, but there is beauty too. I do forgive you, roaming star, for your part in what befell. But know that of blame, yours was never the greatest share.
And so concludes my queen's greatest purpose in this journey, Miloa. She desired to ease roaming star's burden, and I believed we would need to visit the cave of the Avorim to make the attempt, but we were fortunate that Nimrodel was here in the palace of the Swan, and now we have saved some time. I said Arwen's purpose on this journey was ended, but of course mine is only beginning. We must speak with Prince Imrahil about the continued presence of the Corsairs that threaten Gondor's shoreline, and also about the rise of the kindred of the Coins in Umbar across the Bay of Balfalas. but we have already achieved some good today. For Roaming Star and Nimrodel, each deserve the peace and the happiness that their sorrow stole from them. I hope we have helped lighten their burdens today. I think we have.
These are truly days of wonder.
I have seen many surprising things in my life, Miloa, but never did I expect such figures as these to step from the mists of legend into my hall. These are truly days of wonder. I have some matters to discuss with King Elessar, but I am pleased you accompanied him to Dol Amroth. I have heard your name recently, and I need you to deal with something personally.
Just a few days ago, the City Watch apprehended a man lurking outside the city.
The Prince's Guest. Just a few days ago, the City Watch apprehended a man lurking outside the city. He was dressed as one of the Corsairs of Umbar and made no apology for it, but when he named you as a friend, the Watch was forced to let him go. I might have commanded otherwise, but the guards had to make a decision, and they made it. Holding prisoner a friend of the hero Miloa, they did not wish to make a mistake such as that. Oh, how cool. I have had them keep a wary eye on this man ever since, just to ensure he causes no disturbance to Dol Amroth. But perhaps it would be best if you speak to him and learn his intentions here. Find Beriadur, the leader of the watch, and ask him for the latest report of this jajax whereabouts and behavior. Beriadur will be southeast of the Palace of the Swan, at the bottom of the steps. And yes, indeed, I do remember jajax pretty well. How could you not remember a name like jajax? And if I remember correctly, he was a secret informant.
You have just missed the report from one of my guards concerning this man.
If you hurry, you might catch up to the pair of them. Look for Tholian to the east and beyond the market stalls, where he said this jajax lingered. Oh, how this brings back memories of fighting and protecting Dol Amroth. Ugh. There's Tholian.
He was right here. I don't know how he gave me the slip.
What if you check in the courtyard to the north? Perhaps Lindor saw which way he went. Captain Beriadur is not going to be happy about this. There is no sign of jajax here either.
I am at a loss.
We watched this fellow from a goodly distance for a better part of 3 hours, and he made no suspicious movements or gave any sign that he knew he was observed. And then, in a snap, he just vanished. Are we certain he is a reformed Corsair, and not some irksome water spirit instead? Knowing what you know of jajax, you hesitate to describe him as reformed. Instead, you commiserate with Lindor about having lost him. Aye, it is to be hoped Captain Beriadur will not be too cross with us. I will go to him now with the hope, no, the certainty, that we will find this jajax again before he causes any serious trouble. Follow the sound of unusual gull call down the street to the east. The strange gull call come from somewhere about... Ah, there he is. Here he is. Hey, Jajax. Those guards are fortunate. I chose to do no more than merely embarrass them. I could have slain them very easily if I wanted. But you are a friend, so they can live for today. I think you believed our paths would never cross again, Miloa. It seemed you have the pleasure of entering my story at least once more. Jajax is so funny. Classic Jajax. The Adventures of Jajax, and it doesn't complete. Much has happened to me since I saw you last. Do you want to hear of my adventures? And daxamat. Okay, and daxamat. My brother Daxamat and I believed we were done with Gondor when we bid you farewell, Miloa. I thought we would return briefly home to Umbar, and after finding a new ship and a new crew, we would set sail once again in search for treasure. It was a fine plan, but, well, that is the story, is it not?
My brother Dax and I returned at last to Umbar Barhalber, the city of sails.
Okay, this is our first look at Umbar. I love the coloring. It definitely has a different feel, yet stays naturally true to Locho. Definitely more detailed as well. Like it. Ah, it is good to be home. The sea breeze welcomes us back to Umbar. My name may be spoken of all across the world already, but it will mean a little more to hear it spoken in the streets of our city. No doubt my exploits will earn us a tankard or two of ale in the Crab and Cutlass, or in the teeming Net Tavern. You were always partial to the hungry deep, weren't you, Dax? But we have work to do. The drinking will have to wait, but just a little while. We will not stay long, my brother. I need a proper ship and a bigger crew. Where should we seek for these things? Are there more guards than you remember? This way, Dex. Something about the city is different, Dax. Do you feel it too? There are too many guards here. The Haradrim of Ordak seem to be gone, but in their place the guardsmen appear, more vigilant. What has happened to my city of sails? I do not like this. Someone must answer for it, and they will answer to Jajax. I'm going to sniff around and see what happened while we were gone. Wait for me here and cause no trouble. And yet he is my brother. Trouble found him. Daxamat? It is you! What are you doing here? I'm just waiting on Jajax. Dax! I haven't seen you in an age! I thought you perished in the war, but you must have escaped that fate somehow. I take it some portion of your brother's good fortune must have transferred to you. We could have used some of that here. Were you in the battle? I heard the Corsairs who followed Balakor were slain by an army of dead men, and that they were led by the hated warrior Thorongil, who despised the Umbari so much he returned to life that he may slay even more. But that cannot be so. Still, there have been strange occurrences here in recent days, ever since the great earthquake that collapsed the Temple of the All-Seeing. People say he is dead, if such a thing is possible. But the Empire of Ordak did not stand long against the uprising, and when the fighting ended, the Kindred of the Coins announced that neither Sauron nor Ordak would rule again in Umbar. The Kindred claim they have ushered in a new age, but for people like you and me, Dax, and like your brother, I do not know if they mean it. The goals are full of thieves and corsairs alike. No opponent of the Kindred lives long after voicing it, if they learn that you sailed with any heir of Castamere. This is not a good day for you to be here, Jax. The Kindred... Who speaks of the Kindred of the Coins? I can only bear so much praise in one day, my friend. But I prefer it to complaining. The city is grateful to you and all the Kindred, Caltech, sir. It is we who are grateful to your folk. The uprising began here in the lower ward of the city. The heirs of Castamere could not have been defeated by only 7 people, after all. Such things need bodies. Who is your friend here? What is your name? Daxamat? Caltech nods idly, but behind his eyes you sense that he is paying very close attention to your face, and filing away your name for later consideration. Some there are who lead, and some there are who follow. Even the Kindred of the Coins is subject to this rule, my new friend. Azgath, the Sea Shadow, prides himself on leading. He does so with aplomb. Rothog, the storm carries out the wishes of those who give the commands, and they are made stronger with every swing of his mighty fist and every bite of his sharp teeth. Ask the heirs of Castamere who attended the half-troll's last bout before the sea stone mutiny about those teeth. Caltech grins. A private joke, Daxamat. But heed these words, for they are also true. The wisest of all is he who knows when to lead and when to follow. The wisest is he who knows when to speak and when to listen. Which are you, my new friend? And who do you follow? The heirs of Castamere? Or perhaps the Church of the All-Seeing? The city has many foes, and sometimes they require some rooting out. The uprising in Umbar was thorough, but Azagath has mused aloud that he sometimes wonders if it was thorough enough. We were not here when this occurred. You were not here when this occurred. Need I ask you where lies your loyalties? Caltech, you villain! Where are the supplies you promised my husband? Oh, here's to Moldo. Nakasi, my love. Didn't he die? Oh, this is past, that's right. The things I promised to you have already been loaded onto your ship. I have my own voyage to make, and it is longer than yours. You have to go, Dax, before Caltech remembers you're here. Quietly, through the northern exit. Jajax has arrived at a run. Dax, this place is no longer safe for us. This Kindred of the Coins intends to imprison or put to death any freebooter and pirate that does not sail in support of them. There's no time. We have to leave the city. Quickly, back to the ship. Hurry, Dax, hurry. It was our work alone.
Our work alone allowed us to escape. But if good fortune permitted it, ill fortune was soon to follow.
A sudden storm rose up and swamped the boat, and when at last I came to shore, it was back to Gondor I had been delivered. Of Dax there was no sign. I'm certain my brother lives, for he has survived much worse than that. Sturdy crab that he is. You tell Jajax that Prince Imrahil and King Elasar should be told of the situation he encountered in Umbar, and the Corsair tilts his head, weighing your suggestion against the potential for reward. It is good to be owed favors and coined by kings and Princess Miloa. I accept your offer. I have not been the guest of a royal court such as this before. Well, not an invited one, anyway. Back to Aragorn. I'm sorry, I can't get used to calling him a lesser. Just doesn't feel right. He'll always be Aragorn to me.
I said to keep an eye on him, not to bring him to my court.
Why should I trust these things he says of Umbar, or of the kindred of the coins? How do we know he is not one of them? Why should I trust one of the Corsairs who so troubled our coasts during the war, and who continues to do so even now? Have you taken leave of your senses?
Evil tidings have come to Dol Amroth from the coastline of Anphalas.
Burning ships. Evil tidings have come to Dol Amroth from the coastline of Anphalas. Tidings that harden my heart against such men as this Jajax. But you need not hear them of me. Speak instead to Captain Merolv, for he left Outer Gondor just days ago, afoot and without ship. Tell Miloa why this was your manner of travel, Captain.
If you command me to speak, my prince, I will. But the pain is fresh.
And the losses I suffered there will haunt me to the end of my days. I came afoot because my ship, the Alfrovel, was burned off the coast of Anphalas by Corsairs of Umbar just days ago. Some of my crew survived and made the journey back to Dol Amroth overland with me, but too many good sailors died to fire and water and Corsair blade. I demand to know why you now host in this palace one of the monsters who set my ship aflame.
You could tell this weepy old sailor that I was not involved with the burning of his precious ship.
And my proof is that he still lives. If I had been there, and he and his crew would have been spared. Jajax grins. Aye, they would have been spared. Spared the walk back to the city. Tell him this too. I did not burn his ship, and if he gets another, he would be wise to steer it far from Jajax in the future.
Silence! I will allow no fighting in the Palace of the Swan.
King Lesser, these tidings of Anphalas make it clear to me that you should make a change in the plan we discussed. If the Corsairs of Umbar remain active along the coast of Langstrand, it is too dangerous for you to continue that way. Instead, you should make preparations to return to Minas Tirith. I will allocate a number of Swan Knights to attend you on the journey, if you so desire.
I value your words, Prince Imrahil. but I cannot heed the warning they contain.
The suffering of Anthems makes it more necessary destination for me, not a lesser one. I will see the state of things in Outer Gondor with my own eyes, and I will aid the people there as best I can despite the danger, or perhaps because of it. Spoken like an Aragorn.
The prince wants to know where I am going. That is my own concern.
Being his guest has already grown tiresome. Farewell, Miloa. Perhaps I will see you again. Perhaps not. Bye-bye, Jajax.
Watch that one carefully if your paths cross again.
He may not have been responsible for the burning of the Afrafall, Miloa, but I think it need not matter. How many good men do you think he has slain during his life as a Corsair? Whether he fights on behalf of the heirs of Castamere or the kindred of the coins, or for himself, does it really matter to the men whose lives he takes, and whose ships he burns? Watch that one carefully if your paths cross again.
If I cannot convince the king not to travel to Anthems while it remains threatened...
A choice of road. If I cannot convince you not to travel to Anthems while it remains threatened by Corsairs of unknown loyalties, my king, I beg that you will consider delaying long enough to prepare for the journey. The storehouses and armories of Dol Amroth are yours to make use of as you will. Take the time to prepare, for I will not have it said that I sent you on to the outer fiefs without adequate supplies or warning.
I understand Prince Imrahil's concerns. Let this, then, be the compromise.
I will remain for a few days' time in Dol Amroth, preparing to travel to Anthems, but some of the company will instead journey north to the Blackroot Vale. The people there, and their lord Duin here, lost much in the defense of Gondor. After the folk of the Vale have had some of their needs met and their concerns heard, this smaller group will rejoin the larger traveling party outside Anthems, and we will together visit the Langstrand. You will go to Blackroot Vale, Miloa. With you I send Legolas, Gimli, and my scribe Kabar. There are 2 roads by which you may reach the Vale, but I leave to you the choice of which to take. The shorter but more dangerous road through Charling's Crown, or the longer but safer road through Lamadon to the east, through Calambel, Lothgobel, and Dinadab. Whichever road you choose, your destination will be easily seen from afar. The hill of Erech towers above the Blackroot Vale. Okay, before we go do that, we're first going to wrap up the quest in Dol Amroth. And that starts here with Lothir. Well, mind you, we've already done all of those, so we'll probably circle back to him. Let me see. Yeah, let's go do these. I gotta go to Calambel. Let's go to the stable.
A king has come again to Gondor.
Alright, Calambel it is. Kalamal seems to have achieved a measure of peace after the war. Alright, now we're gonna go to Lothgobel.
I never thought to see such happy days as these.
Lothgobel has not yet fully recovered from its scars, although people are dancing in the streets. There is that.
I never thought to see the days of peace come again.
Dinadab. The folk of Dinadab seek to restore their peaceful lives. And now I just gotta travel to, oh, yeah, I already killed stuff. Travel to the base of Hill Eric in the Blackroot Vale. Okay. We're just gonna go to Morlad.
You're most welcome, my friend.
Alright, travel to the base of the Hill of Eric and the Blackroot Vale, King's Gondor. There's Legolas.
The Hill of Erech. We have seen it before, but in different circumstance.
Yeah, last time we were fighting over here.
I do not wish to climb this hill again. The memory is grim.
You're telling me. Ruthless. I do not wish to climb this hill again, Miloa. The memory is grim. When last we stood atop the summit, a great host gathered about King Eomer. They were those who broke their oath to Isildur, and they came to his descendant, that they might fulfill it and have peace. Many were the shades of dead men that followed in our train when we departed Eric, and they were the fighters who wrested control of Pelargir for the Grey Host. Without this army of the dead, we could not have seized the Corsair ships that bore us to the Harlond and Minas Tirith. The shades who gathered about King Eomer atop this hill redeemed their oath and recovered their honor. Should that make it pleasing to recall for we who were there? I do not believe it does. Speak with Khyber and Gimli, and afterwards we will proceed to Morlad on King Eomer's business.
This story that Legolas and Gimli speak about, it fills me with fright.
I'm gratified to learn that the king made use of the shades that betrayed his mighty forebear, and so gave them the redemption that was once denied them, but Khyber frowns deeply and casts nervous glances toward the summit of the Hill of Eric. You say that some of the shades did not fight on behalf of the king? How ruthless must those dead men now be, knowing there is to be no redemption for them? How much must they hate the living, now that the chance for peace has come and passed them by? I do not want to go up there. King Elessar would understand if we do not, surely.
I am not afraid, you understand, but there is little reason for us to climb again to the summit.
The king would expect us to slay any such members of the ruthless dead that we encounter in the Vale, or whatever passes for slaying such spirits. I'm not entirely clear on that point. Legolas has tried to explain it to me, but it all seems rather complicated. What I do know, I know that if any of the ruthless dead think that to trouble us or the folk who live nearby, we will inconvenience them. We will inconvenience them with sword or bow or axe and let them return if they dare. They are sure to haunt the hill of Erech at night, but they will be along the road to the Pass of Dead at all times, I wager. Alright, you want me to go kill? I don't know that there are any up here anymore. Nah, let's just go. I know where there's a bunch of them. We're just gonna go to the Pass of Dead. I wonder if they will let me in. Is a little bit tough to kill. Now for the test. Will it let me in? Nope. So this is the dead end. Alright, off to Mortalad we go. Dr. Rosvin outside her home in Moralad. I believe isn't she up on the hill? Hey, I have good memory.
A pall lies upon the black root vale, for all her young men were drawn away eastward to war.
Oh, Maloa, a pall lies upon the Blackroot Vale, for it was caught in the grip of war, and all her young men were drawn away eastward. My sons, too, were caught in the whirlpool, and Dulin and Derafin will not come home again. My husband Duan here thinks to spare me the details of what befell my boys, but there is evil in not knowing. If only I knew they perished quickly and without pain. Lady Rosvin entreats you through eyes filled with tears, but when you hesitate she looks away. No, I will not ask it of you. I know Duan here thinks to spare my feelings, the hard-headed man. I am stronger than he knows, and have always been so. It is not lost on me that he was not able to save our sons from death. He with his strong sword arm and his thick shield, and I was forced to remain behind in Moralad, I, who might have been able to keep them safe. Life can be cruel, Maloa, but it is crueler still for a mother in time of war. I keep thinking I will hear the sound of my sons boasting and laughing on the wind, and then I will see Dulin and Derafin climbing the path through the village, alive and well and happy, but it is not to be so.
I have told Rosvin over and over again that there was nothing I could do to save our sons.
But she will not listen. Duan here lowers his voice so he can speak only to you, out of his wife's hearing. Sometimes when I lie awake in the silent watches of the night, Maloa, I wonder if it is the truth I speak to my wife. I raised Dulin and Derafin to be bold and to be valiant, and they made me proud every day of their lives. But if I had raised them to be, well, less bold, to be less valiant— Don here chokes on his words and stifles a sob, turning his back on Rosvin to hide his face. Would my boys be alive today, Maloa, if I had not raised them to hold dear the same things as I? No, stop. Enough. You are here on the king's business. You are not here to listen to the ramblings of a sad old man. Speak to the people of Moralad. Do what you came to do.
I've got nothing to say to you. Move along. You dare speak to me after bringing such death to Morlod? I will not stand for this.
Oh. What, you gonna fight me? You hear someone shouting for help from outside the entrance to Moralad. Kaibar?
Oh, am I glad to see you!
A gang of thugs surprised me a few minutes ago and I had to run and hide. What if they come back? I got you. Thank you, friend. That was frightening, but I'm fine now. Khyber thanks you. Okay, find Legolas and Gimli.
Someone loosed an arrow at me from hiding.
I am fortunate indeed that this is a town of men and not of elves, or it might have hit its mark. These folk are not happy to see us.
What is wrong with these people?
Do they not know we are here to help them? Do you think the heirs of Castamere are to blame? No, Gimli. I do not. It is fortunate this arrow was not loosed with more skill. Let me go chat with Dwayne here. He has to get his town under control.
Supporters of the heirs of Castamere? No, I do not think they are responsible for this.
Dwynhir looks directly into your eyes and holds your attention. My people have suffered much, as have we all, and King Elessar did not take time to visit Morlad himself. There is no conspiracy here, Merloa. The folk of the Vale grieve, and their grief has made them angry. I understand it, for I am angry too. I wish you guys could see this, but I've got 2 puppies' heads on my foot. Hello, Bobby. How's it going?
I bid you farewell then, and I will try to master my grief and that of my people.
Word of their lord. I bid you farewell then, and I will try to master my grief and that of my people. But King Elessar would do well to remember that not all the folk of Gondor are as stern or as cold as the elves he loves. And if he does not take care, his kingdom may slip away, and when it does, if it does, it may not be the fires of the Corsairs, but to the fury of his own people. You tell him that, Miloa. He has my loyalty, for I am sworn to Gondor, but these are true words I speak, and he would do well to heed them. Now he wants me to go to Anfalas. Anfalas is up there. Where's Anfalas? To Argor. Outer Gondor. Okay, this is new. This is a new map. Has to be. Bradvan, Malgabaz, Erin. I don't remember any of this. Okay. But I'm not gonna go do that, am I? No, I gotta go back to Dol Amroth and clear out the quests there first.
The long night has ended and the sun rises upon a peaceful kingdom.
Back to Dol Amroth we go. Okay, let's go take care of these side quests.
While you are here in the city, I would ask of you some assistance with a rather delicate matter.
I will be right back. Taking a quick bio. I am back. Rohan reading. While you are here in the city, I would ask of you some assistance with a rather delicate matter. You see, when I was at the king's wedding this past summer, I happened to hear a tale of the Rohan Lord Eomer. This naturally made me quite curious about the Rohirrim. I wonder if you might do me a favor of speaking with Nosith and Nerimil in the library of Savadzur. Ask them to show you anything that might be relevant about Rohan and its leaders. Do not tell them that it is I who asks. We do not need to start tongues wagging for no reason. Sure, I can go do a little bit of research. Do a little bit of digging for you. Okay, I guess I gotta find them now. Last time I was in here, I was in battles. Oh wait, there's a ring over here. Is it on this level or above? Let's see. Ah, here's Noseth.
Greetings. You come seeking books on Rohans, lords and ladies?
We have few, if any, I am afraid. What you may find may be recorded in conversations about treaties and trade between our two countries. You'll find them upstairs in the section on Affairs of State, southern portion of the building. Nerimil.
Good day to you. You wish to learn about the geography and history of Rohan?
We have few books that will tell you tales of these fields of green, as theirs is an oral history. Were you to find anything, it would be on the second floor, southern end of the building. Upstairs we go then. Southern end of the building. Oh, there's some scholar guilds here. I wonder if they've got a new guild level.
Well met. Well met.
I already got all these recipes.
Our lands were once peaceful, but it is now dangerous to travel far from home.
Sunstone shard recipe. Okay. Don't have that one.
Our lands were once peaceful, but it is now dangerous to travel far from home. The soldiers of Gondor have all gone to war, and we are left to fend for ourselves.
Book on Rohan. 1, 2. 3. 4. Up ahead. Alright, we got all those. Return to Lothariel. Now, this is where you can customize. I'm gonna keep Scholar, Farmer, and Weaponsmith I'm getting rid of. I'm gonna do Prospector, and I'm gonna do, I wonder if that's even possible. Yes.
Well met.
Prospector. I do want to get rid of Farmer. Yes. And then I want to get rid of Weaponsmith and do Forester.
I greet you, friend.
Get rid of Weaponsmith. Nice. Now, now I will just need to level those up. But I won't bore you guys since it's through that. I will do that separately.
Ah, it appears you managed to find me some books.
Thank you. I look forward to reading them as time allows. Alright.
Though my father has returned to the governance of Dol Amroth, I am still much involved in seeing to the city's many duties and tasks.
Scurrying scamps. Though my father has returned to the governance of Dol Amroth, I am still much involved in seeing to the city's many duties and tasks. One of those tasks is receiving daily reports from our swan knights, who patrol the countryside. A recent report on the state of Hashadir has given me cause for concern. I ask that you speak with Captain Arbitraric about what they found there. I think you could be of help. You'll find Arbitraric near the Swan Knight's keep, probably seeing to the training of their fellow soldiers. is.
Greetings. You say the Lady Lothiriel sent you. I'm not sure if this means she trusts you or she wishes to punish you.
The knight chuckles slightly to himself. Oh, it's nothing so bad. It just might not be the most enjoyable of tasks. You see, we were successful in driving the invading Corsairs out of Hashidr, but while they fled, they left behind a most undesirable surprise. Rats. Rats of the most unusual size, even. Who knew rats could grow so large? In any case, your tasks here in Dol Amroth have kept us from cleaning them out. But if you are willing to do so, there is a reward. Where are these rats? Oh, okay, they're down there. I remember many nights riding out of these gates with my kin to go slay some warbands, so that I could get some tokens for my legendary weapons. That's when the old legendary weapon was still legendary system was still in effect, and you had to do warbands in order to level up your weapons. Now those days are gone. You have discovered Hashidr. Time to kill some rats. I need frothing rats. Ah, you killed him too quick. Another good spot. Frothing. We'll just wait for the respawn. I'm gonna go get these artifact chests. Is that a frothing? Nope, those are still scurrying. Ah, here's our frothing. Nice. Okay, got them all.
Thank you for taking care of our vermin problem.
I know it's not a pleasant task, but they often carry disease and can be a great risk to our citizens. I believe she had one more quest, but
Southeast of the city of Dol Amroth are the ruins of Amondal.
we'll do his first. Scales in amondal. Southeast of the city of Dol Amroth are the ruins of amondal. With the war being over, merchants have begun to travel freely along the road that passes by them once more. However, it seems that the quieter days have led to a clutch of worms moving into the ruins. If you're heading that way, take care. If you're inclined to lessen their numbers, even better. Oh wow, that's all the way down there. Alright, no easy way to get there but to hoof it. Trying to see if there's a milestone around here, but I can't seem to. There it is. Alright. Let's go grab that milestone so that I at least don't have to hoof it all the way back here. Here we go. Bound. Yes. Thank you. And off we go. Ah, my horse couldn't make the sharp turn. only a tiny, tiny part where the worms are located that are gonna count. Cape of Balfalas feels new to me as well. There's no stables there. Okay, I'm coming up to it now. Maybe this will be a good spot for scholar mats as well. And we have arrived at Amondal. Here comes my first worm. Let's see if it counts. It did. Nice. Drakes. Lovely. Yay, I finished. Using my milestone.
You've done Dol Amroth a great service this day. Thank you for doing what you could to help make the roads to Dol Amroth safer.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but hear that you're going to Hoshadir.
Finding the Wayfinder. Excuse me, I couldn't help but hear that you're going to Hashadir. Oh, pardon me. Where are my manners? I'm Nelagwyn, but you can call me Nella, and I really need your help. The thing is, I went wandering down to Hashadir a few days ago without knowing it had been infested with rats. I was horribly surprised when a group of them swarmed me, a terrifying wave of fur and fleas, and I lost my footing. In doing so, I also seem to have dropped the waystone that I was using to navigate my way around. That waystone belonged to my a very long ago ancestor, and it's been passed down in my family for generations. I came here to ask for help getting it back, but as soon as the word rats was mentioned, everyone turned their backs on me. Please, I beg you, if you're going to Hashadir, can you look for my waystone? I need to return it to its safe box before Mother finds out that it's missing. Sure. We can do that. Should be quick enough. Alright, let's go find this waystone. Oh, I can't resist. Ooh, what's this? A beach scuttler. Ah, there's the waystone. It looks like a crab. Ooh, it's matron. She's not happy. Alright. Back we go.
did you? Oh, you found it! Thank you, thank you, thank you!
I need to get this back to its safe box right away. Oh, thank you. You are most welcome, Nella. Glad I could help you. Now, if I recall correctly, Lord Neil still needs some help. Here we go, Ithuriel.
I admit that my curiosity has been piqued, and I wonder if you would do me the favor of seeking out more tales about Lord Eomer.
The Anthems of Eomer. I admit that my curiosity has been piqued, and I wonder if you would do me the favor of seeking out more tales about Lord Eomer. There is no real reason, of course, aside from my curiosity and love for stories of the heroes of our time. A slight flush creeps into her cheeks as she smiles at some private thought. Here, take this coin and use it to entice the bards of Harper's Court for stories of the Rohirrim. Tell no one that it is I who asked, please. I can trust you with this, Miloa, right? Right. I can't remember the lore if they end up together or not. Last time I was here, I was chasing music, sheet music. I don't usually take requests, but I suppose just this once. A ballad of how Eomer lent horses to the future king and his fellowship during a time of need. But I was going to do the lusty lass meads. Oh, very well. The bard sings a dark song of Eomer being imprisoned at the behest of Grima Wormtongue. Aye, I know one or two. Gather round one and all and hear a song of Rohan. The bard sings a rousing song about an Aerid galloping horses across the fields of Rohan. I said Eomer, not Aerid. I don't usually take requests, but I suppose just this once. An ode of how the love of Eomer and his sister Eowyn called the lady back to life as she lie in the houses of healing. You hear a tale of Eomer's bravery upon many battlefields. Oh, my speed mount is gone. That's why it feels so slow. Okay. Not that
You return! Tell me, did you hear much of Eomer?
You recount the various songs, tales, and deeds you heard. So he is brave, kind, and loves his family fiercely enough to call back his sister from death's doorstep. He has known battle and betrayal, but also friendship. He is akin to one of our swan knights, and also noble of spirit. He did not flinch when called upon to aid the king and his companions, even when not knowing who they were. Thank you, Miloa. You have given me much on which to think. I really like those doors. Alright, I saw one quest ring in the harbor place, so let's go back there.
Well met. I am... oh, pardon me. Do pardon me.
Sounds like he has a cold. Tales of battle and woe. Well met. I am... Achoo! Oh, pardon me. Do pardon me. I'm not ill, merely suffering from having walked here by way of the stables. You see, horses make me incredibly ill, and old Amroth has them stuffed into every nook and cranny. Allergies. The bard's words are interrupted by a procession of sneezes. He blows his nose noisily and smiles at you with watery eyes. I'm Finger, minstrel extraordinaire, and it is my calling to write about the great and glorious battles in which our brave swan knights partook. Achoo! However, it is also my curse not to be able to get close enough to them without setting myself sneezing for days. Say, if you were to make your way to the keep of the Swan Knights and listen to their tales from me, I would reward you for your time. What do you... achoo, say? Sure, I can manage that. While I'm here, I may as well ride around to see if there are any more quests lurking about. I enjoy the sound of the seagulls in the background. Let's go up here. Nope, nothing here. I do still have to go to the lower city. Nothing here either.
Songs cannot but hope to encapsulate the glory, the terror, the rush of steel upon steel, and the fear of the flesh in the presence of it all.
There were orcs and feral men, flashes of blood and metal and fur, fighting by tooth and fang and claw. It was a thing I shall never forget, and from which my dreams will never be safe.
I wish I could tell you I was a hero and did great deeds, but in truth I was sick with fever and never made it out of camp.
You will not find tales of glory from me, I'm afraid. That sucked.
Gondor needs your aid.
You wish to know of the battlefield? I have much to say, of course. Why, I myself was responsible for bringing down 6 orcs. One after the other, they fell at my hand. I was even lucky enough to find myself back to back with Prince Imrahil at one point. We were set upon by a pack of vicious warriors, but they had nothing on my lord. You should have seen the way he swung his sword, like the ways nothing at all. His foes fell in great numbers before him, piled around us in droves. Glad am I that I was able to serve and save these lands, my prince and our king.
Stories of the battlefield, you say? It was important. We did not really have a choice, did we?
It was go to war or go to war and die, as many of my friends, my family, did. But we could not just wait for them to take our country and our lands, to kill and slaughter as they washed over us like a dark wave. It was important that I went, that we went. I just wish more of us had come back, but it was important.
The war for a bard? I do not really remember it truly. I think I do not want to.
It comes in flashes to me in dreams. The noise of it. There is always a lot of noise. My captain yelling, the snarls of the enemy, the sounds of metal on metal, or worse, on skin. The cries of the wounded, the horns propelling us forward, beacons of hope when it seemed all was lost. I do not wish to remember, but I fear I will never forget. I'm just glad that we have won. My only hope is that none may ever need to experience such things again. Perhaps because I and others met that bloody host on the field, all children will know peace. Perhaps none other will again have to carry those memories. Ain't that the truth? War is not a pretty thing.
any tales for me to write about?
You pass along the stories you heard from the Swan Knights. Bard's face grows pensive as you speak. It seems that along with glory there is also much darkness in war. Too often our songs sing only of the honor to be won, the renown one might gain. You have given me much to think about, Miloa. I shall endeavor to write a song that encapsulates both the glory and the horrors of war, lest we are urged to go too soon to battle when other ways might suffice. Do not get me wrong, for our knights were fighting for the very world itself, but it is good to know of and to share both sides of this coin. You have my thanks for bringing me these tales. How goes my virtues? Oh, it has increased. Gotta work on confidence. Okay. One more stop I want to make is the lower city before I go off to Anthems, which I don't think there's a stable there. Let me just see.
A king has come again to Gondor.
No, there is. Alright, but I gotta meet him on the road. Yeah, it says rejoin Elessar on the road to Anthems. Let's just go check the lower city, because I haven't been there. I don't know if there's any quests hiding there. I can't seem to remember how to get there. This way. Here we go, here we go. Here are the stairs. Yep, there's a ring down there.
Hello, my dear. I wonder if you might help me with a small task.
Dubious fish. I wonder if you might help me with a small task. I am worried that some of the fish being sent up to the king's hall is not as fresh as the royal table deserves. The crates of fish need to be examined, but if the fishermen see me coming, they're quick to swap out the crates they intended with fresh fish, only to later send up fish of poor quality. Tour the docks and inspect the crates and report back to me. Together we can identify who has been passing along subpar catches. Okay. Dubious fish. And there's another quest here as well, which we'll pick up in a minute. First doing fishy stuff.
Just a country girl in a real big world. You can catch me on 65, driving to the mountaintop. I don't make no stops. Yeah, this town was once all that I knew. I'll never forget my roots. I'll never forget my roots.
I must have missed one somewhere. it is.
Welcome back, dear. Now tell me, how were the crates? Did you find fish unworthy of the prince's table?
You inform her of your findings. Is that so? I knew it. I shall reprimand those swindlers immediately. Yay! Level 143.
There's always work to be done.
Slippery ship pins. Ah, Maloa, was it? I'm Anungil, Master of the Wharf here in Dol Amroth. I heard you were instrumental in helping to break the siege on Dol Amroth. When word came of King Alestar's victory at Pelagar, the Corsairs here turned tail and sailed away as fast as could be. We gave chase to some of them, of course, but mostly we were simply happy to see them go. However, in recent days, odd things have started failing on the ships that were docked here. Rigging pins slip their posts, and tightly woven ropes snap like yarn. I've begun to suspect that we did not chase all of the enemy from our bay. I wonder if you might be able to assist. I need someone who can discreetly inspect pins and ropes on the ship moored here. Someone who will not let whoever is behind this know we're onto them. If you can, I would greatly appreciate the help. Okay. Guess we're gonna go board some ships. A portion of the rope is threadable. The pile of rope looks sturdy and strong. Ooh, a boat.
Gondor has a king again.
Nice. I got a boatmaster. Post pin. This pin's threads have been stripped. No, filed down. This pin looks secure and strong. This pin looks secure and strong. Threads on this pin has been filed smooth. A light touch makes this pin slip out of its post. The threads of this pin have been filed smooth. Oh, I gotta go to the other dock now for that last rope. I know you. Well, yeah, I can go swimming. Whee! I hope. It would have probably been faster just to ride. Oh well. Getting my sea legs ready. The rope is frayed and the slightest strain will shred it. I suspect foul play.
There is always work to be done.
You return. What did you find? You tell her about the smoothly filed pins and threadbare rope. I knew it. Someone is deliberately trying to sabotage our ships.
There's always work to be done.
Strong pins and well-woven ropes. While you were busy about the Rosagil, I had one of my men deliver a new box of pins. Take it up, will you, and replace the ones that you found filed down. There is also some rope which you can use to replace the frayed bundles you found. A rope and pins. Okay, the pins are done. The ropes, though... that'd be another story. Yeah, the other frayed one was close to quest giver, so we'll go back there. This quest is broken. This one right here is supposed to be shining. Okay, let me do a quick bug report. Yes, I would like to start a bug report. I'm gonna do this. Oh. I will be right back. I'm just gonna fill this out. Alright, and I am back. The bug has been submitted. I will probably try and complete this later. Alright, what I'm gonna do now is we are going to go find Aragorn. Doing a bit of off-roading, hopefully shaving off some time. Look, a bridge has been rebuilt. We shall cross it. New deed, Explorer of Anthems. Yay, new region.
This is the road to Anvalas, westernmost fief of my husband's kingdom.
He has spoken to me of its ruler Golasgil, who marched to the defense of Minas Tirith with a number of soldiers and his household guard. He perished at the Battle of the Maronon, moments before the defeat of Sauron, and Elessar grieves that he sacrificed so much and never saw the victory for which he died. I understand he asked you to bring to his people word of his bravery in the face of death.
Thank you for going on my behalf to Morlod.
How fares the Lord of the Blackroot Vale and his wife and people? You give your account of the grim sentiment that pervades the Vale and the words of its ruler, Elessar nods. Duanhir and Rosvin suffered much during the war, and the wound that is the loss of their sons can never truly be mended. I knew it was so, but I let my other concerns guide me and erred by sending you there. I should have gone as well, Miloa. On my return journey after we see Anthems, I will go to the Vale and speak with them personally. Travel to the town of Melgobas. Alright, we've got a whole new map to explore. And that's quite a distance to ride, so... Popping on the war steed. There's Dol Amroth in the back.
We must not let our vigilance lapse.
Who are these fine folk? The king and queen have come to unfold us? I never thought I would see such a day as this.
Thank you everyone for watching. This finishes up tonight's stream. I will hopefully be carrying on the adventures tomorrow. And